Hi, my name is Anthony D'Angelo, and I'm here to tell you about the Internet Creators Guild. I was at VidCon last week, and it became clear that pretty much nobody knew what the ICG was or why it's so important, so here I am. To be clear, I'm not a member of the ICG, I don't represent them, I'm just a student doing some research and talking about it, because that's what I do on my channel. So, here we go. So first, what is a guild? A guild is like a union, except it's for independent contractors rather than employees of a company. Unions and guilds have played a central role in the development of the traditional media industries, particularly Hollywood. Back in the 1930s, Hollywood studios had a tendency to take advantage of their workers, making them work long hours for little pay and no benefits. It was the Great Depression and times were tough, so workers fed up with their treatment got together to fight back against the studios and advocate for the value of their work. If your union is big enough that companies can't get by without accessing your labor, then you've got collective bargaining. It's important to note that the ICG is not yet doing this type of organized negotiation, but the language on their frequently asked questions page suggests that this type of stuff is in the works. Union negotiations with Hollywood studios established standard pay rates, meal break requirements, and work hour limitations, among other things. So you can imagine that down the line, this might be the role of the ICG. Organized labor has done a pretty good job of defining and protecting the value of the creative work of Hollywood laborers. But these types of organizations don't exist yet for the internet world. And as a result, many creators have been taken advantage of. If you watch a lot of YouTube and follow people pretty closely, you might know that some creators are signed with multi-channel networks, but they're not employees of those networks per se. They sign a contract giving over some percentage of their ad revenue on their YouTube channel, usually around 30%, in exchange for access to special viewership analytics tools, brand deals and sponsorships, production resources, sound libraries, a whole myriad of benefits that are geared towards building and monetizing your YouTube channel. Sounds pretty cool, right? Turns out, not always. The problem is that multi-channel networks have a history of some pretty shady contract practices. Some contracts make you relinquish ownership of your channel in perpetuity. That means forever. That's why Grace Helbig had to start It's Grace after building her audience for years on Daily Grace, because her contract with My Damn Channel, a multi-channel network, gave Grace Helbig an ultimatum. Either she could accept the terms that she didn't like and stay with the channel for another couple of years, or she could get rid of the contract and start her new channel from the ground up. Now, she's a pretty talented lady and she's super great. She can do that, but most people can't do that. Part of the role of the ICG will be to educate people about contractual best practices. What should I expect going into a deal with an MCN or a brand? Most creators just don't know what to expect. Maybe they don't know the difference between gross and net CPM. Maybe they don't know the difference between CPMs calculated based on CPI versus CPC. Maybe they're signing away ownership of their channel without knowing it. Companies like Maker Studios and Awesomeness TV boast literally tens of thousands of creators in their networks, many of whom have to ask their parents to sign the contract for them. Scouts for multi-channel networks have a long history of emailing teenagers to sign on up and join the club. If professional creators have trouble navigating these contracts, imagine the difficulty and vulnerability of a young viral star. It's so easy for them to get taken advantage of. Even if the terms of the contract are sound, how can a team of maybe a few dozen talent managers really provide direct support to tens of thousands of in-network creators? MCNs want to, spend their money wisely and get a good return on their investment, so they are forced kind of to pay attention to the top tier of creators that's making them the most money before getting to the smaller ones. But there are many more of the smaller ones than there will ever be of the bigger ones. As a result, many users who sign with MCNs report basically no follow-up after signing a contract. It's like they're just giving 30% of their money away, like a tax. Furthermore, multi-channel networks are often the ones negotiating the pricing for brand deals and sponsorships. If you sign with a large network, and if they're nice enough to pay attention to you every once in a while, how do you know if your brand deal or sponsorship is really a fair deal to you? In the past, MCNs have acted as management and legal representation for some creators, and when the person who's legally representing you is also repping the company who's writing the contract you're about to sign, that's a major conflict of interest. It's why you see higher level creators signing with traditional talent agencies like UTA and CAA, because historically, MCNs have been kind of predatory. I have not joined a YouTube network. I know how to tag and title my videos, I know how to read YouTube analytics. My channel's not really big enough to make a brand deal worth doing, and the network that I've built up over my 10 years on the platform has given me access to enough creative professionals that if I wanted to really step it up, I could on my own. I wouldn't join a network unless they were giving me something that I really needed that I couldn't do myself, and YouTubers are pretty good at doing things themselves. At VidCon, I met a lot of people in industry, and I realized the skills and talent that we have as internet creators on this platform are in really, really high demand. Why else would Maker Studios get bought by Disney for $900 million? Because Maker understands the internet far better than Disney does. Internet media is an entirely new sector of creative production. There's two types of rules. There's new rules and there's no rules. And the Internet Creators Guild is here to help us sort out those rules and advocate for our interests instead of the interests of all of the people trying to take advantage of all the beautiful stuff that we have created here. I think it's one of the most important and positive developments on this platform in quite a long time. So I thank Hank Green and all those involved. Good on ya. My name is Anthony D'Angelo. Do not forget to subscribe if you're interested in hearing more about contemporary issues in digital media. Thanks very much. I will see you. Bye. More whips than a runaway slave. More